it going? Happy January, what's today? The 12th. I'm here to do the reading for the week, now that we are on the other side of that eclipse, and we're also on the other side of the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Obviously, it will be going on for a little bit because they're on the same degree. This week, there is some planetary movement. Uranus is direct. He went direct yesterday. Venus will go into Pisces. So, you know, that the female factor, which may have been a little bit detached, kind of heady, intellectual in this period, pretty analytical, will now kind of go into the feels. Venus in Pisces wants to save everybody, you know, kind of like lost puppy dog energy. And Mercury will go into Aquarius. So Mercury is moving fast and at the end of January, he starts entering into his shadow. Now, the one thing I want to call to your attention is that as of today, through the end of January, usually we get a little bit longer period, but this year not so much. All of the planets are direct. Okay, now actually the planets will be direct, all of them, until February 17th, I think, is when Mercury does his first retrograde. But he's in his shadow starting at the end of January. So from now until February 17th, it's like having the wind at your back, right? So if you're getting something set up, if you're at all involved in like setting up businesses or starting new projects, looking for jobs, things like that, this is always my favorite time of the year, and I try and get as much done as I can. And then you spend the year sort of revising it. But this is fantastic energy to maximize if you have any projects or things that you would like to see pushed forward, because there are no planets that are retrograde right now. And that is relatively, you know, like I said, it usually only happens for about 2 months, maybe more, maybe 3 months. And then this year, everybody will be going retrograde. So we'll have a chance to review and revise everything. So truly enjoy this time. Now I'm going to start by pulling 3 advice cards here. I'll put them at the front and then we'll do the reading for the week. Can I get 3 cards face down for advice for Aries? Put one there. And one more, please. Okay, very good. So concentrate on those. We'll be reading them at the end of the reading. Sorry, that's also to help me. Now, let's get started on the weekly energy. Okay, for Aries, please. What is the message this week? January 12th to January 18th. What's the overall message for Aries? January 12th to January 18th, 2020. What is the overall message? Okay. Completion. And this is, you know, so going to the gravesite, burying something, paying its proper homage, you know. So this tells a story about a war hero and how they use the quote unquote opportunity of the funeral, to celebrate that person's life, to celebrate what they did, to celebrate the role that person played in their existence, in the universe, etc., etc. So since most of you will likely have put something to bed right around this lunar eclipse, it is time to ceremoniously bid it adieu, where you thank it for its role in your life, for that which it taught you. You might even want to do like a proper ritual or burial of, where you even say out loud, make quite conscious, like what you learned as a result of that person or that situation or that job or that whatever, what they brought you, what you know now that you didn't know before, as a sort of celebration and send off as we close out this chapter. Oh man, I always do that. Sorry, one sec, I forgot the cards. I pulled out the wrong deck and then I had to fix it. So let's get... That's interesting. I haven't seen this for a while, this this card. I like it, you know, because it's a closing out. So, you know, there's very clearly something that you walked away from, something that you buried. And now the universe is saying that, you know, the message this week is to say its proper goodbyes so that it can be, so that you can move on. What's the challenge for the week, please, for Aries? Okay. And there it is, right? It doesn't get any more clear than this. 8 of Cups, letting go. So that's the challenge. So you may not want to. You may actually see there's that thing like still holding on to like a memory of what was there. And that's fine, you know, to celebrate the memory. The important thing is to understand that it is a memory and is no longer alive here. So letting what then, and it may be like a tear, you know, you may have to shed some tears in order to let that energy sort of flow into something else. But we are being asked to, you know, clear out all the old energy so that the new stuff can come in. Like I said, we've got these 2 weeks ahead of us from now until the end of January, which are it's really, really powerful energy. And so the more you're stuck here and like stuck in the memory of the past and pointing your forward attention towards things in the back, the harder it will be to, you know, we don't get this all direct energy again until the beginning of next year. So this is really like, you know, those major sales that they do at the beginning of the season. Like, take advantage of it now. And if that means that you may have to like cut the cord a little faster than you were potentially ready for, it's the wise thing to do. Now, I want to get 2 cards, please. Can I get the energy coming into the week? Energy coming into the week for Aries. So, okay. There's the movement card, but it came up in reverse, which means that there is some holding on. I'm going to do things a teeny bit different. I'm going to pull the story and then get a card at the end. No, actually, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, let me get the energy for Aries at the end of the week. So what's the energy at the end of the week for Aries? The end of the week, January 6th, 12th to 18th. What's the energy at the end of the week? Okay, the rescue. And this came up the other day as well. So, but this one was also, you know, upside down. So it looks to me, I want to read that one again. My memory recently, it's been really, really weird. Like, I'll think I want to say something, and then I've actually said it, but I don't realize that I said it. You know, it's just like really weird energy. I almost feel like I'm actually physically outside of my own body. I think it's that Uranus. Anyway, this one says, are you trying to rescue another? Do you believe your love can change someone or miraculously heal this person? Or are you waiting to be rescued? Do you believe that someone will sweep you off your feet and take away all your troubles? This card cautions you against romanticizing your situation right now. Look closely and see reality as it is rather than the illusion of how you'd like it to be. You need to step back and rescue yourself. Trust that spirit will guide you to expose the illusion so that you may discern the difference between truth and fantasy. Now, I did say at the beginning that the Venus goes into Pisces, which is, you know, the rescuing puppy energy. I focus that energy on yourself as opposed to someone else. because that is like, those are one of the habits that needs to be put to bed now, right? And we need to let go of. You see how there's like this water that flows there, and it turns into like a final drop, right? So there's this like last, it's kind of like there's this last ditch attempt at pulling you into some sort of old habit of like maybe feeling like you need rescuing, or feeling like no one's ever going to come to your aid, or not knowing how to get out of the situation that you're in. And actually it's being reduced to one final drop here that you just have to sort of let fall into the sea. But it has to be allowed to happen. Okay, let me get 3 cards, please, here for the activity during the week. 3 cards for the activity during the week. It looks to me like a relationship. Could also be, you know, family issues. I think it's actually a lot of you putting old habits to bed. Yeah, there it is. So like old toxic relationships, toxic things that you've been connected to for a very long time, psychological habits where you are your own, putting yourself into your own version of hell. Those are the things that, you know, because they come from the past. So it's like all this stuff from the past is now you're waking up to it, and waking up to the fact that it needs to be buried so that you can move on. 2 more cards, please, for the week. 2 more cards for this week. Okay. Yeah, gosh, look at this energy. Jeez. 10 of Wands. 1 more card, please. What a way to start, huh? 1 more card, please, for Aries for the week of January 12th to 18th. How the week unfolds. But, you know, so the good thing is, oh, there it is. I knew, I was like, come on, this doesn't end on a shitty note, right? Okay, so, and then I'll show the code. So, yeah, so here is like, this is some sort of like psychological patterns that keep you in chains, things that are not visible, that come from a dark place, the shadow energy, that keeps you locked and stuck, right? Not being able to move forward. But lo and behold, and you know, there's a challenge, obviously, to complete this cycle, but he is at the completion. Remember, we had the 9 of Wands before. It was a couple of weeks ago. So there was like that last push towards the finish line, and here he is. So we have the 10 of Wands now, which means that, yeah, it's still in process, this burial, but it's like, in retail, we used to call it the last mile. You know, it's like you've done everything, you just have to get up those last few steps, which can sometimes feel like the hardest. And actually you can be like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna give up. No, don't do that. We'll see why. You're gonna need to take a break, right? So this is sort of like the unfolding of the week. And this is also not only taking a break, but look at that, those 2 burials. Putting things, so I tell you this story every single time. They would go out to work, come back, lie in their own coffins, and go over very analytically why they're still alive, what they should have done better, what can change in the future. It was an opportunity for reflection on the past and how to, like, what to do differently in the future. So you will have this opportunity. Again, I would suggest doing a ritual if you have one. Putting something to bed. What needed to die? Why did it need to die? What did it bring you? What can we say thank you for, regardless of releasing that person, right? Or a person, thing, situation. Whatever it is, something's got to die. You have to put these wands down. Otherwise, there's no way you can pick up anything else, right? But then at the end of the week, there's a 4, and look where the 4 jumps straight to, right? Because it's like not playing around anymore. So you do what you have to. You dig down to the depths to figure out to get those chains off of you. It's going to be some hard work to do it, and it's going to require a lot of self-reflection and like a death, a burial, a process, a ritual of acknowledging that which is dead and that which is alive, that which continues. And then it's like, okay, no more fooling around time. So awesome. I'm very happy that came out because it was looking depressing. Let's get some advice here. Can I get an advice card, please, from the universe for Aries, week of January 12th to the 18th? Advice card. Even though this reading's pretty tight. Yeah, okay, cool. Archangel Michael, which is, whenever you don't feel safe or whenever you feel threatened or whenever you feel like you're being challenged and like it's too much to handle, like you can't take it anymore, this is the guy you want to call on. And it comes immediately, actually. And it says here, trusting heaven, you are safe. Angels, stand close, surrender your concerns, and allow a miracle to happen. Okay, that's one. I wanted to get another more like earthly. Let's get some advice here from this one. What advice for Aries for the week of January 12th to the 16th? January 12th to the 18th. January 12th to the 18th, 2020 for Aries. Okay. Live your soul, not a role. That's quite interesting because that was, that's also, so maybe one of the things that you're putting to bed or that has died is a piece of yourself that was something, maybe it was a soul contract. And so that was your deal. That was the role you had to play in someone else's life, or that was the role they had to play in yours. But now it's time for you to move into that, right? Live your soul, live who you are. So maybe did you play like this rescue, help me kind of thing? And now you're like, nah, I don't need to be doing that anymore because I'm fine with being this person now. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be rescuing, and I don't want to be rescued. I'm leveling up to a different level of emotional evolution that I got this, right? I got myself. I'm responsible for myself. I'm responsible for my own emotions. I'm responsible for how I behave in the world. And I'm responsible for taking these chains off my neck. Nobody put them there. I mean, they may have put them there because that was a soul contract so that you could see, so that you could experience how to, not only what it feels like to be in chains, but you learn how to take them off for yourself so that in the future, if it ever happens again, you're now well practiced in, hey, wait a second, this looks a lot like that devil situation that I was in the past. And no more, because I now know what to look for as I go forward in order to move forward into my fairy emperor self. So nice. So, we've been talking a lot also about like people going through spiritual evolutions, people leveling up, maybe having some sort of enlightenment moments. And it's very, very clear that there is a rebirth happening here. This week will be dedicated to burying the past, putting the past to rest, transmuting that energy into something else, releasing it from your energetic and physical body so that you can start to live a very different chapter of your experience in this incarnation. Okay, so let's read these here. Let me get the book out. Okay. I'll start here. This one is Oh, I used to get this all the time when I was in those things, the stupid soul connections, right? The never ending story. Now it came up in the reverse and it's a 10 as well. Oops, sorry. It's a 10 as well. So let's read that 37. Okay, this is a time to avoid drama at all costs, especially when it comes to other people's stuff. Your sensitivity is on overload these days, and you're best served by keeping your distance. Your mantra today is not my circus, not my monkeys. All this drama will pass and you will carry on unscathed and blameless, right? So this rescue card, you don't have to be the one always showing up to help everybody else. Let them get themselves out of situations. You have other things to do. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on the emperor. The emperor also believes, he's kind of like stern father, but like tough love father, which is like, I'm not going to keep bailing you out because then you never learn, right? And so we don't like to play that energy so much because we're generous, right? And if somebody needs our help, we like the idea of being able to do so. But sometimes the best thing you can do is let people fail, and let them figure out how to get themselves off that rock, because otherwise the next time, so maybe you're playing that role in somebody's life, or maybe somebody played that role in your life, was to teach you how to save yourself, right? And now that's a wonderful skill that you carry forward into the future. All right, let's look at this one. Oh, happy, upside down. Okay, let's check that one. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck, but I like it better when it's right side up naturally. So it looks like a tough week energetically, not gonna lie. Okay. All right. Well, good. So clearly you guys are like, there's a ton of really heavy energy, because this one says in the reverse, lighten up, because this is the time to be ridiculous and silly. See the world through the eyes of a clown and don't take yourself or any situation right now too seriously. Have fun, be playful, make laughter the order of the day. You'll be surprised by how everything seems to fall into place when humor leads the way. Being happy and lighthearted is a wonderful icebreaker. Life is meant for play as well as work, for laughter as well as tears, for celebration as well as focus. Spirit wants to sparkle through you today. Smile and enjoy each breath and each moment. Miracles lie in the silly things. Okay, so that's nice. That's like invitation to party. Safely, of course. Let's turn this one off. Okay, all in reverse. So here, this one is the Y card, which tends to, but also beware of overthinking. So since it came up in the reverse as well, let's see that. Okay, sometimes subconsciously denying the truth may drive you towards a specific outcome that actually aligns with an intention hidden from your awareness. Okay, that's heavy. For example, you may want to be prominent in your profession, but your desire is not really about sharing your talents, but about making yourself feel better, because fame would cause people to admire and approve you. Okay, so it's like that. It's kind of understanding this devil energy, like getting very clear on your driving motivations, like what you may say. Okay, interesting. Just got this. So you may say that you like to help and rescue people, that like it makes you feel good, but actually is the underlying current that you like having people depend on you, because that's where you get a sense of power, right? So there's some sort of thing in understanding what the shadow motivation is behind your choices. So, or you may want to reunite with the partner who rejected you because you believe that your love continues to be strong, but deep down what you really desire is to have the last word with that person. We've all been there. Now is the time for deep soul searching of the why that drives your choices. What you uncover will set you free and bring you ever closer to the happiness you seek. Okay, very, very deep this week, huh? Like super super heavy energies going on. But, you know, again, if we can put them to bed, if we can get clear on them, put them to bed and release them, a new day dawns. You know, we let the sun set on this chapter so that the sun can rise on something new. Okay, awesome. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a very lovely week, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.